canning, and today we're canning chicken, which is considered chicken or rabbit, and we're using the jar size of pint, right? Because you also, the minutes process time is different for pints and for quarts. It's longer for quarts, of course. So we're doing it without bones, and it's what they call hot and raw. All right, so it's pints, hot and raw, without a bone. Okay, so it's 75 minutes. So it has to cook 75 minutes in the final stage of the canner. So now you have the canner.
You've never lasted 75 minutes.
Whoa!
It's nice.
How does it make you feel, Dad?
Yeah, you pass out in a second. All right, so in the canner, you've got in the bottom, you've got the bottom spacer that holds the jars off the bottom, and you have 3 inches of water, and then you put a little oil around the edge of this so the canning lid doesn't get stuck. So now your mom's made, based upon this size canner, it's 9 quarts
19.
or 16 pints.
19 pints. 19
Sure.
pints.
Hold on. What's that?
Is the editing going on here?
Let me see.
Nope.
Okay, 19 pints, 7 quarts. Okay, based on this size canner. So 19 pints, 7. So we have 19. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Okay. So now the water's cold. This is cold. They will have to be the same temperature. You can't put cold and hot or hot and cold. So right now, I'm going to put these in there. I've made sure that the lids are tight. Your mom's got a headspace in there. Up on. Okay. She's got this. She has these all ready to go. So I have my little jar picker upper. There it goes. And then you. And one in the middle. And it's a good idea to always keep your hand underneath in case you drop it. You can catch it with your other hand and not go, oops. And then there's chicken all over the floor.
You're so smart.
I anticipate things. All right, so you can only get a certain amount in. The first level. So now
Well, you would probably get
the water's a little bit over the tops. Then you come in, you put the second level in with the little lip facing down. It's not going to sit nice and flush. It's going to be a little.
Oh, so you have 2 levels of canning?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's open. We're not. This.
It says 19, and I asked you if it mattered what size. You're not putting them close together down below.
Yeah, they are close. I can't get any more in, down below.
There's a one in the middle.
Mm-hmm. How many layers? Only 2, right?
Yeah.
Less in there?
I have 2, 4, 6, 8. You can't because 8.
Take out the wide mouth.
Yeah, and put some of
Place
these
the wide mouth.
skinnier jars in here, Dad, like this.
Where's the mouth?
Yeah, can you put more that way?
No. Chicken down.
You should be able to get 10 regular mouths on the bottom. Because it says 19 in the book, right?
Yes. Well, you have to get up the temperature, but the cook time on the final stage is 75 minutes.
Okay.
But you have to, there's a process here first.
So you couldn't refrigerate these cans, could you? Like in between?
I could.
You just have to re-temperature them.
Alright, you have any more small mats? You have
No,
those?
that's
Nope, they're all wide jars now.
Okay. How many of those? 2, 4, 6, 8. 9.
So how many are we able to fill in the bottom layer?
You're not gonna get
The mouth size matters.
Yeah, it only does, but
Oh, that's what she said.
Okay, now let's put the next one.
Hold on, let's okay, so there's that.
I'll do it. Because we always usually using the same size.
Well, no, we're gonna write a note in here.
You've got 2 more behind you as well.
Yeah, so we can't fit.
So we're gonna have to write a note in the book. So we.
Okay.
have that?
So
Alright, now what?
now it's loaded with the top on. The top, there's a certain way this top goes. This arrow lines up with this notch. Okay? Now you also have to make sure that it's level. The best way to do it is by your fingers. And then you look at it and make sure this space, this gap, is equal distant all the way around.
Okay.
Okay? Then at that point, you're going to lightly on one side and then the other side.
Oh, like you're doing like a hubcap kind of thing, right?
Exactly. So once you get it on even, then you slowly turn it just so it touches. Go to the opposite, just so it touches, just so it touches. Check it and make sure it's fine. And then crank it down. Going opposite. Okay. So now you've done that. And then you have to take this little bitty piece of wire that your mom from hiding. And you make sure that this air relief is clear. So that's good. So now we're based at our sea level
Altitude.
or altitude. It's 1,000 feet, so basically we're under 1,000 feet, which means the pressure gauge is going to be a 10. If we were over 1,000 feet, we would go to 15 pounds per square foot. So we're using 10. 10's our magic number on this. So then at this time, if you go to the canning instructions, okay. So you're securing the lid. Now we're going to turn the heat on high. Okay, so then at this time, turn the heat on high until a steady stream of steam comes out of this, because it'll slowly spit. It'll do little spits. You don't want that. You don't want to spit. Tip. You want it to take it.
Oh God.
You do. It has to.
Oh, that was unnecessary.
It has to be a full. You have to get a full flow and not a spit. Okay. So once the timing starts, once you get a constant full flow, okay. At that time, you put the timer on for 10 minutes. So however long it takes to get the full throw, put the timer on 10 minutes. And then at that point, when you get to the 10 minutes, you put your pressure gauge on, which is for 10, we're doing 10 pounds. So then all you would do is at that 10 minutes time, you're gonna put this on. Then you're gonna leave it alone until this jiggles. And what will happen is this will get to 10 pounds. This will now build up to 10, 11 pounds. Once this jiggles once, then at that point you want it to jiggle between 1 to 4 times per minute. Then you turn the heat down and you have to figure out what your stove is and how much you have and the temperature and everything else. There's a certain sweet spot on this gauge to keep this at 10 pounds, and this jiggles between 1 to 4 per minute.
And it keeps staying on there, jiggling, or?
Then at that point, when you do that, then you put the timer on for 75 minutes.
Okay.
It will stay there as long as the temperature is consistent.
So it's about a 90-minute process, all in all.
Just
Well,
that part. It's
Yeah.
a lot longer because you got the cooling and the heating.
then you have to, then it takes, then on the reverse section at the end, when you get to 75 minutes, you're turning the heat off. You don't touch anything. You wait until the pressure gauge goes to 0.
Okay.
Once the pressure gauge goes to 0, you pull this off, wait a little while longer, and then you can slowly loosen these. And then you just kind of leave it for a little while. Let it cool down. You don't want to be adversely, like if we were doing this outside and it's really cold out and all of a sudden you pop the lid off, the cold air will go in and rush it. So you kind of, at that point, it's, you can let it sit. You can even let it sit, once you take the lid off, you can just let it sit overnight. But what we do is, once it gets enough temperature down, when you pick the lid up, you pick it up and you turn it this way so the water drops back in the pot, put it to the side, wait a few minutes, and then you can take the boiling hot jars and you have to put it on a tray with towels down so it doesn't feel like the cold on the cold marble.
Well, it's also not good for the marbles, so.
Well, yeah, but it's also it's the thermal shock. It'll crack the jars.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
Yeah. So then what you're doing is now you're just waiting it to get up to temperature and starting to get, because what it's doing is at this point now is it's replacing the air that's in there with steam, and then once you get that constant flow of steam, that means there's no more air inside.